everyone! Morgie right here again, and today, in honor of the holiday season, I have decided to share 12 D&D creatures I can recommend to spice up your D&D combat. It doesn't have to always be orcs, goblins, and skeletons. The monster manuals have a lot of overlooked stuff in them. So I hope these lesser-known creatures inspire someone who might be getting bored with the same old monster fights. Now, just a warning, these are the D&D 5e versions of the monsters, not the 2024 versions, as I haven't played with those rules as much. But I have sorted them from CR lower to higher, so there are monsters here for most levels. So away we go! In the first session combat, our DM sent us a Nilbog! This little chaos, well, goblin, isn't really a goblin at all. It's more like a spirit that possesses goblins, and it's great to throw into a normal group of goblins to throw off your low-level players while they're trying to figure out what is going on. They are only CR 1, and while they have a few spells like Hideous Laughter and Vicious Mockery, any attempt to hurt a Nilbog can cause the person to be charmed into praising it instead. It can also just reduce any damage it takes to 0 and heal itself instead. Plus, it has the normal goblin ability to disengage as a bonus action. It isn't very strong, but if you really want to make things interesting, you can always roll and decide this trickster spirit possesses another goblin nearby. Make sure you really play up the chaotic nature of this spirit in role-playing, as it messes with your group. And they will feel amazing when they finally put this annoying thing down for good. In the second session combat, our DM sent at us a Nothic! I love these guys. It has a rotting gaze that can deal a fair amount of necrotic damage, as well as sharp claws, but where these little guys shine is in the role-playing. Nothics have an obsessive compulsion to gather secrets and knowledge, and sometimes can be mollified by trading those instead of fighting. You can also use them as being an agent of a villain who is against the party, and when the Nothic grabs one of the group's juicy secrets, they run away to deliver this knowledge to their master. They're also pretty stealthy, and have true sight. Just fun guys to run overall, but definitely more fun as a social encounter than a combat encounter. In the third session combat, our DM sent at us a Neogi. For some reason, these are all starting with N so far. That wasn't intentional. Neogi are disgusting, colonizing aberrations that think everything but themselves are lesser, and look like a mix between a spider and an eel. They are small in size, so they don't look too intimidating, but these things do tend to be in groups, and their main goal is to enslave anything they can come across through mind control abilities, which lasts for 24 hours. Yikes. They also have poisonous bites. Honestly, the monster manual description about them and their society is pretty fascinating, although pretty gross. And any adventuring party encountering these things would have a very memorable, if nasty, time. In the fourth session of combat, our DM sent at us a flail snail. Another one of my favorite D&D creatures, flail snails don't really want to fight anyone, but are also prized for their magical shells. Not only do these shells give them advantage against magic, it can also reflect spells back at the caster or their allies, or turn the spell into a destructive force that hits everything near the snail. Plus, the shell can produce dazzling and blinding lights that can stun attackers. Make it mad, and it can hit you with 5 spiked tentacles all in a row. Whether as a pet, a mount, or an enemy, these things are fantastic. In the fifth session combat, our DM sent at us an Etten. I feel like these guys get overlooked a lot just as another giant, but Ettins are really cool. Again, it's all about the roleplay, as besides never sleeping, because one head is always awake, and having advantage on seeing and some statuses due to their two-headedness, each head has a completely different personality. One time the group I was DMing for convinced one head to let them pass without issue, but failed to persuade the other head. The two heads started fighting between themselves, and the group was able to sneak by. Does each head use a different weapon? Is one good and one evil? Instead of a hill giant, throw one of these into the mix next time, and make the fight way more interesting. In the sixth session combat, our DM sent at us a Banderhub. If there's one thing D&D has a lot of, it's creatures that resemble frogs and toads. We have bullywugs, froghemoths, grung, hezro, slotty, and blindheim, to name some. One that sometimes doesn't get mentioned are the monstrous Banderhub, beings made of shadow and flesh. These things are pretty large and are created by hags or dark wizards in the lore. Vanderhobbs are very devoted to their creators while they exist, and are usually sent to steal items or kidnap creatures that have angered their creators. If the Vanderhobb has even a tiny piece of a creature or an object in its possession, it knows the most direct route to this target if it's within 1 mile. It can swallow creatures or objects, and it can teleport in dim light. I would love a party to come across one of these, assuming it was just a big bullywug, and then realize their mistake as it attacks. In the 7th session combat, our DM sent at us an Oblex. Now these are some nasty but fun creatures. Oblex are a type of intelligent spellcasting ooze that feed on memories, and the more intelligent the prey, the tastier those memories are. There are adult ones and elder ones, and both are dangerous, but adults are only CR 5, while elders are CR 10. And there's probably not a really easy way to tell the difference, besides size. But you probably aren't going to see the full size of one at first, because this creature likes to create impersonations of those it has eaten in order to lure in new prey. And the only way to tell is a faint sulfurous smell and a tiny tendril connecting the impersonation to the main body. Add the fact that this thing can cast a good list of spells, and the fact that eating memories debuffs the victim, and these things can be pretty dangerous for a party. In the 8th session of combat, our DM sent at us an invisible stalker. Hey, do you need a way for your BBEG to try and attack your party? Does your BBEG know who they are, but not necessarily where they are? Do you want a murder mystery where a victim was killed but there was no sign of an attacker? Try an invisible stalker. These things are elementals that are naturally invisible, so a dispel magic isn't going to work on them, and there's no time limit on their invisibility. They know the direction and distance of their target as long as the two of them are on the same plane of existence, so they are perfect for assassinations. The only downside I find with these creatures is that rules as written, they kind of just beat their victim into a pulp. They don't have any cool breath-stealing mechanics or anything. But that's something you can always homebrew if you would like. I used a few of them on a party who were sleeping at an inn thinking they were safe, and boy, it really made them hate my BBEG. In the 9th session of combat, our DM sent at us a Bodak. Now I have gone on record that I really like these things. I have even made art of a friendly one we met in a campaign where I'm a player. His name was Sir Cleave. Not only are these creatures very freaky design-wise, they have cool mechanics like a necrotic aura and a death gaze, which is really more of a 0 HP gaze, but is still very shocking to a party who aren't expecting it. In the lore, Bodaks were fanatic worshippers of the demon lord Orcus, and Orcus can recall anything a Bodak ever sees or hears. If he chooses, he can speak through a Bodak to address his enemies and followers directly, so if you're running a campaign involving this demon lord, these guys are perfect for that. In the 10th session of combat, our DM sent at us a Death Kiss. Now we are getting into the bigger baddies. Death Kissers are beholderkin that instead of eye rays have tentacles with bladed suckers on the ends. They also have lightning blood for some reason. It heals itself with its victim's blood, and a good strategy with these guys is to grab a target and then fly up with it. Not as strong as a normal beholder, these guys definitely, to me, are creepier, and have that leech element that is quite impactful for a party. In the 11th session of combat, our DM sent at us a Yocklaw. These guys are also quite gross, but for me that always adds another level of scary to a fight. Yocklaws are also demons, but they are followers of Lolth instead, the Spider Queen and Drow Goddess. I'm not sure why anyone really follows her, because they always seem to get changed to monsters when they do. But these creatures in their normal form look like slime trees with arms. But they can change their form to resemble their original drow forms or also into spiders, and they can also turn into mist and poison enemies. As they are higher level demons, they also have a lot of resistances and can do a significant amount of poison damage on a hit, so they are certainly not pushovers for a party. In the 12th session of combat, our DM sent at us a Retriever. If you have ever seen the Dark Crystal, these always make me think of the creepy crab creatures, the Gartheme, but more spidery. These constructs are quite powerful, CR 14, and like several other things on this list, are trackers who can find their target as long as they are both on the same plane. They can paralyze and do force damage, and if they get a hold of their target, they can plane shift them away, as long as the target is incapacitated, which they do through their paralyzing beam. They can plane shift up to 3 times a day, so even if their master is on the same plane as it is when it captures its target, it can plane shift away and then plane shift back to the material plane before the time is up on the paralyzing beam. So they really have no downsides for this. They are great for capturing allies or capturing party members, so the rest of the party has to go on a side quest to go rescue their missing member. These things are scary, tough, and stealthy, and highly recommended for higher level groups. Okay, that's all the cool but not commonly seen monsters I recommend for a DM looking to surprise a party of almost any level. Let me know if you have any more to add to the list. Thanks for watching, and happy holidays. I hope you have a good rest of the year, and we'll see you in the new year. Bye-bye!